Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking with a Cool Dad. We are going back to Culinary Counterfeits again because, well, let's just say I had some inspiration last week. And speaking of last week, I apologize, I did not get a video out. No real excuse, just a culmination of lack of time and craziness. So, it'll happen occasionally. It's frustrating, but honestly, it happens. And until I can find a way to do this as my full-time job, it can happen now and then. But I apologize, and I do my best to get one out every week for y'all. But during the time crunch that was last week, we made a quick stop for lunch one day at one of our place we like to go eat. I'll say it that way because I'm not going to say it's our favorite, but it's not. We don't hate it. It's good. We like to hit Olive Garden every now and then. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I call Olive Garden the Taco Bell of Italian food because it's good. I just don't call it authentic. But it's good. I like it. And we popped in there for lunch because we love to get their, endless soup, salad, and breadsticks. Because you don't have to eat a lot of breadsticks, but the soup and salad, it's light, it's filling, it's good, and it's fairly healthy. So, why not? So I decided that for this week's video, I'm going to hit the Culinary Counterfeit and do the Zuppa Toscana, which is one of our absolute favorite soups to get while we're there. We both like the heartiness of it without being too heavy or thick. And it's that good mix. It's a good flavors. It's just good. So today, we are going to drop down and start working on making our Zuppa Toscana. I did verify, and a shout out to Sydney at the Olive Garden on Erie Boulevard in DeWitt, New York. She was our server, and she was awesome in answering my questions about a couple of things I was reading in the recipe that I wasn't sure about. And to all the staff there for just being awesome like that. And when you tell them, hey, I want to actually make this, can you guys answer a couple questions about the recipe I found? And they do, pretty awesome. So thank you to the staff of Olive Garden on Erie Boulevard in DeWitt, New York. Thank you to Sydney specifically, our waitress, who actually went back and asked the cooks about it. You guys rock. So this one's for you. We're going to start with our first ingredient, and I'm going to drop down in a second, don't worry, is hot Italian sausage or spicy Italian sausage, whatever you want to call it. You want 1 pound. I've got a little over a pound. I've got it in the pan already started to heat up. So we're going to drop down to that, and then we'll get this super rolling. While I've got the sausage browning, I'm going to get a couple of other things running as well. The next ingredient I'm going to be working with is a half of a white onion diced. Does it say white? Yes, it says white. So I've got my half onion on my mandolin. You can do it with a knife. I just honestly like to play with my cool kitchen toys, and so I got the mandolin here. Obviously, I used the top half. I didn't cut that off because that'll disappear along the way. So no big. Pop this right on here. And slice and dice and slice and dice. And just like that, bam. A lot quicker than using a knife, I'll be honest. And there we are, I got my diced onions. Put this in the sink. Yeah. Does a really nice job with those, I have to say. It's hit or miss on some stuff, but if you really want to make sure it's finely diced, you can always go through with a knife afterwards, like I am now. I am just because of the because it's a soup, I kind of want them to be a little bit more of the fine diced variety, and the mandolin only goes just so far. There we go. No, I'm not going to do the TikTok speed dicing knife business thing. I'm good. I'm not that good, and I openly admit it. Meanwhile, over here, we're browning down our sausage. It smells fantastic. I am using Gianelli hot sausage. You can use whatever hot sausage you prefer. There's no real They use they use a generic sausage brand that Olive Garden provides for the restaurants. Um, Believe it or not, they actually make. I found out they actually make the soup at the restaurants. They get all the ingredients show up. It doesn't come in a bag pre-made. They actually make it at the restaurant. So that did score them a few points in my book. I'll be honest. Okay. We're going to take a pause, and when we come back, this will be done browning, and we'll be moving on to the next step. Our sausage is just about there. Now, here's my pro tip. If your local store doesn't have like sausage just in a pack, a meat pack, just like a block of sausage, you can get the patties because they're easy. Just throw them in, break them up, you're good to go. If you can only find it in links, not a big deal. Sharp knife, cut the casing off the link, and you're good to go. Now, we're going to use a slotted to scoop our sausage out of the pan. This is why I clean everything with bleach. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit while I'm doing this. I tip the pan up a little bit because we want to actually leave the drippings in the pan. Early. So I'm just kind of letting it drain down. Scoop my sausage up. Wait. There we are. Now, if you want to change up, why not make it your own? I am definitely using a bit more sausage than the recipe calls for, but that's okay. I like my soup a little meatier. So does Mrs. Cool Dad. So it works out good. Okay. Now, obviously, if there's a couple little bits left in there of sausage, not a big deal. They can stay right with it, and they will just go right in the end mix, so it's not a big problem. There, got almost all of it. Come on. There we are. Okay. Now, we've got our heat down to medium heat. I had a little bit higher for cooking the sausage. To this, we are going to add 1/2 stick of butter, also known as 4 tablespoons. Let that melt down. We'll allow this to melt for a minute. Ooh. The thing to remember with butter is you don't want to put it over high heat because it will burn, just like extra virgin olive oil will burn over high heat. We try to avoid that. Okay, that's melting down nicely. I'm going to add my onions now. There we are. Keeping this on medium heat, we're just going to kind of stir this around. We want to just basically get our onions to where they're starting to turn translucent before we add our next item. Oh, God, this smells good. I'm not crying, damn it, I'm cutting onions. That's the other reason I like the mandolin. A little easier on the eyes. Now, while that's starting to kick in, I'm going to get my mandolin out again and move on to the next item that needs to be cut. Potatoes. Now, I don't recommend using your fingers with the mandolin, especially when it comes with a handy-dandy little holder. And they go pretty easily. This calls for, 4 to 5 large potatoes. So we're just going to do a bunch of little ones. And keep an eye on the onion mix there. While I'm cutting my potatoes down. God, I got to admit, this is probably one of the better toys I've gotten as far as food prep goes. Best toy so far that Mrs. Cool Dad has got me for this is the food processor that will be making another appearance soon. I got a couple things coming up that I think you guys will appreciate and enjoy. And for those of you that enjoyed my eggplant burger video and are looking for more meatless options, fear not. I've got a few things I've been researching and digging on. Obviously, we like our carnivorous ways in this house, but we also like to eat healthy and experiment once in a while. So, to this, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Ish. We like garlic too. There we go. Put the top back on that. I'm going to stir this in. We're going to let this go until it gets really nice and fragrant. For lack of, you'll know because your nose will tell you that it's ready to be done. Meanwhile, I'll go back to doing up some potatoes. Now, if you do use a mandolin, I have mine set on the thickest setting here. And that actually I think is going to be pretty good. Get in there, damn it. There we go. Easy fix. Okay.
Yes, I cut myself. It happens.
Okay, if you guys do choose to use a mandolin, please be careful. Those blades are very sharp, as I just discovered. We're going to put that away now. Whew, that smarts like a son of a gun. Okay, we're hitting our fragrant stage here. That little jump you had there was me saying a lot of bad words after I zinged my finger on the mandolin, and me getting a Band-Aid for said finger. So, potatoes are going to hold for a minute. Because of the volume we're going to be putting together, I'm going to switch from this pot to another one. So I got room for everything. We're going to drop our stock pot on here. And we're going to pop our mixture right into the pot. There we are. Make sure you get all that goodness in there. Okay, now that we're there, we're going to add 6 cups or 48 ounces of chicken broth. Glug, 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 glug. Apparently, if you put the spout at the top, on top, you don't globble it as much, or whatever you want to call it. But why would I do a thing like that? I just squeeze it out. Okay, so we've added broth. I forgot to get my measuring cup out. I'm going to add 2 cups of water to that. Okay, we're adding 2 cups of water. How to fit in my pan. Ooh, that smarts. I have a slightly red finger. It is what it is. Sorry, that threw me for a little bit. But you know what? I gotta say, this is real life. We do what we gotta do. If you cut your finger in the middle of making dinner for everybody, you still gotta make dinner. So, we're going to add 3 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Let me grab my measurers. I'm going to do this. I'm going to measure over here because, you know, 1, 2, and a half, because we're trying to keep our salt down, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Let me tell you, that is a sharp-ass blade. It hurts like a sumbitch now. I will say it probably one or two more times before this video is done. And we're also going to start adding potatoes, so I'm going to chop up a couple more real quick here with my knife, because yeah. Because yeah. Because while it's not quite as quick, my hands are just not down for the mandolin right this second for obvious reasons. But like I said, folks, here you go, real life. This is how it goes. I only cut out the other part for, well, because YouTube would probably blow a fit if they had blood all over the screen. And also because I said a lot of really inappropriate words. And I mean a lot. I actually impressed myself with some of the words that popped out of my face. Okay. Drop these potatoes in. And we are going to bring this up to a boil. There we are. Okay. We have, let's see, we've added our chicken broth, our water, potatoes, salt, pepper. We're bringing this up to a boil. Put that on high. And we're going to boil this until the potatoes are tender. So, we'll be back in a few minutes when this is boiling and the potatoes are tender. For you guys, it was instantaneous. For me, about 12 to 15 minutes have passed of this boiling. I just finished. Spoon, put a fork in them. If it went into them pretty easy, yep, they're soft. Now, our next two ingredients are heavy cream. This calls for 2 cups of heavy cream, and you guys will see in the description a link to this recipe. Fortunately, 2 cups is 16 ounces. 1 pint, you can get heavy cream in 1 pint. A 1 pint of cream. Stir that for and we're going to add 4 cups of kale. Now, honestly, I'm not 100% sure how to figure out 4 cups of kale, so I'm just going to kind of do a couple of handfuls here and call it roughly good. There we go. Oddly enough, I'm not a huge fan of kale, but in this soup, it is really tasty. I'm going to let that come back up to temperature again. Let's see. I'm going to let it back up to temperature a little bit. Now add the sausage in, and we are actually almost done. Very easy. Just don't cut your finger off. While I was waiting for the potatoes to be ready, I texted Mrs. Cool Dad, told her that the mandolin was very sharp. She asked if I cut my finger off. I told her not quite. She asked me if it was the whole finger. I said no, it was the one next to it. Innuendo for adults. Warm that up now. Okay. Actually, I need a small plate to set my spoon on. My potato testing fork is going in the sink. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for this to come back up to temperature. The sausage, we're going to let that on. And then we'll be good. My kale actually looks so much better than the stuff they have at the restaurant. That's the difference being this is all fresh. Okay. Not a bad thing. Let's go enjoy it. There, so let me add my back in. Ooh, God, this smells good. advantage to this. That I was nibbling on sausage while I was waiting for everything to happen. We're going to drop this down to somewhere between medium and high heat. On mine, with a scale of low to 10, should be 1 to 10, I am running this at about a 7 to 7.5 right. We'll be back up top. Results. Well, I thought I was going to go up top next, but that's okay. So, we've allowed it simmer for a bit. We're going to go in there and get us a nice scoop of loaded soup. Ooh, that smells good. Okay, now, here's the finishing touches that I wasn't thinking about when I said we just go up top. What you're going to finish with. Hey! Nobody's here. Sorry, dogs got distracted. How you're going to finish this? With some crumbled bacon or bacon bits, whatever your choice. Sprinkle some of that on top. And of course, some Parmesan cheese. Really? There we go. Give it a healthy dose. Now, if you don't particularly care for a lot of cheese on your soup, that's fine. Don't put a lot on. We're those guys that show up at Olive Garden and say, bring an extra brick of cheese when you come out. And there we go. Zuppa Toscana, the Olive Garden way. You guys up top in a second, and we'll talk. Homemade, ooh, that's hot. Homemade Zuppa Toscana, Olive Garden. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's really good. I'm going to get some potato in there, too. It's really hot, so I got to blow on a little bit. Although the King of Random says blowing doesn't necessarily help, but I think it does. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good. I'm going to wrap this up so I can go sit down and eat some of this because, whoo, that came out really good. So, today was our Culinary Counterfeit Zuppa Toscana from Olive Garden. Realistically, a very simple recipe, easy to work with, easy to manipulate a little bit. Put some extra sausage in, a little extra kale, a little less kale. You know, change your salt and pepper to taste. It's good. I would not recommend doing this with a sweet sausage, but that's my opinion. A regular sausage will be fine. The spicy sausage does make it. It's not like, oh my God, my face is falling off burning. It's good. The potatoes and the cream kind of counterbalance that spiciness. Keeps it really flavorful. Just, there's a reason why we like this stuff. This is the part where I usually tell you about getting people together over food and making good memories. And it's a little bit tougher right now today because early we found out that a friend of ours, somebody we've known for a number of years, our husband's passed away in an accident, and he was kind of young. And it's tough when you hear those things, especially having spent as much time working in EMS as I have. You don't like to hear good people, especially young good people, dying early. But in a way, it kind of does work into this. Because remember, we never know how much time we have. So take the time when you've got it to make a pot of soup, make a good meal, make something to sit down with the people you care about, people you call friends, the people you call family. Sit down with them over food that you put your heart into. You guys will make some great memories. Who knows? Maybe your point of view will change on things after conversation. put the electronics away, and just enjoy each other's company. Why? Because food is life. Life is good. Let's eat some more. And until next week, please be kind to one another. Like, really, be kind to one another. Life's too damn short to not be kind. Thank you all. I'll catch you guys next time.